Hi, I'm Mordechai Becher with the Gateway's Parsha vlog. In high school, one of the things I remember from physics is we had scalars and vectors. Scalar, S-C-A-L-A-R, nothing to do with things that you use to get the skin off a fish, but scalar is an object with magnitude or something with magnitude but no direction. Vector, V-E-C-T-O-R, is something with both magnitude and direction. Now, Jacob, our ancestor, was a vector, meaning he had direction. And we see this both at the beginning and at the end of his journey. It's interesting. He leaves Israel at the beginning of our parsha to escape Esav and also to find a wife. And at the end of the parsha, he heads back towards the land of Israel. What is interesting to note is both times the Torah tells us that the angels that accompanied him, he had angels, meaning divine presence, or God sent his messengers to accompany him, whatever it means. But it's interesting, his dream at the very beginning, when he's leaving Israel, he dreams of angels going up the ladder back to heaven and then coming down the ladder to earth. And Rashi tells us that these are the angels of Israel that were leaving him as he left Israel, and he was being accompanied now by the angels from outside of Israel. At the end of the parsha, he's coming back to Israel and says he came to a place where he encountered angels. He called it Machanayim, which means two camps of angels. The angels of outside of Israel, Syria, that were leaving him, and the angels of Israel that were now accompanying him. What is interesting to note, the Maharal points out, is that when the angels of Israel left him at the very beginning of the parsha, he hadn't left Israel yet. He was still in the middle of the land of Israel. He was in Jerusalem, Beit El, etc., right smack in the middle of Israel. So the angels of Israel are leaving him. Very strange. And at the end of the parsha, he is just crossing the Yabok River, which is not yet in Israel, and yet he's still in Syria, and the angels of Israel have now accompanying him. So what's going on? So the Maharal explains something very amazing. He says, your spiritual level is not determined by the scalar, the magnitude, but by the vector, by your direction. Meaning, since Jacob was leaving Israel, even though he was still in Jerusalem, the angels of Israel had left him because he was heading, so to speak, down towards Syria. And when he was leaving Scalars, he was leaving the diaspora to go back to the land of Israel. Already when he was headed to Israel, he hadn't yet left the diaspora, but the angels of Israel already came to him. Meaning, in both cases, we see that it's the direction that you're headed which determines your spirituality, not where you are right now. So a person, and Rav Hutner said it in a very beautiful way, I think he quoted the Kotzker, who said there's two people on ladders, and the Kotzker said, which one is higher? And they said, I don't know, it depends which angle you're looking at. And he said, no, it depends which direction they're going. The guy who's going up the ladder is already higher than the guy who's going down the ladder, because it's the direction that determines where you are. So therefore, as a person's headed towards Israel, he already benefits from the spirituality of the land of Israel. When the person, Jacob, was headed out of Israel, he was already losing some of the spirituality of the land of Israel. So really it's about direction, not about where you are. And actually our sages tell us, and this is where Hutner comes in, that there is such a thing as an Am Haaretz. An Am Haaretz means an ignoramus, and a Talmid Chacham means a scholar. But the word Talmid Chacham doesn't just mean scholar, it means a wise student, because a definition of a Talmid Chacham is someone who is a student, meaning they're heading up the ladder. Their direction is up. They want to learn more. Could be they only know the alphabet now, but they want to know more than that. That means they're heading up the ladder. They're a Talmid, a wise student. An Am Haaretz, a nation of the earth, meaning someone who is embedded in the static nature of earth. And such a person doesn't want to make progress. So such a person is called an Am Haaretz, an ignoramus. And Rav Hutner puts it this way, he says you could have one person who has learnt a tremendous amount of Torah but has no desire to go any further and is not making any progress. He says, on the other hand, you could have someone who doesn't really know much, but their whole desire is to make progress and move up the ladder of knowledge. He says the second is on a higher level than the first, because the first is heading down the ladder, the second is heading up the ladder. And that is what we learn from Jacob, from Yaakov, our ancestor, that it's the vector, not the scalar. And that's true in many areas of life. We should not measure ourselves by where we are, but we should look at where we're heading. We should not measure others. Actually, probably shouldn't measure others at all. Don't judge someone until you're in their place. But if you already are, look at where they're heading, not at where they are. That's a lesson for us from the Parsha. Thank you very much for watching. Mordechai Becher with the Gateways Parsha.